Hi guys, welcome to my little Instagram live again today. Today's Friday, and I know that's hard to believe because I'm completely confused about the days. So, I hope you're doing okay. Friday, we had a weird Wednesday, didn't we? Hope everyone's all right. We have lots of friends and family out in Magna, and I just want to give them a shout out and tell them how much we're thinking about them and how much we love them. So, today we're going to do a project that works well mostly for older kids, and if you're a younger child you're going to need some help from probably your parents for it, and then I'm going to kind of talk about a little bit that you could do if you're younger. So we're going to try to appeal to like the older kids and the younger kids. So parents, I hope you're doing okay out there in homeschool land. It is not easy. This is all new stuff, isn't it? So I first want to talk about our little project, or I first want to set our timer so that I don't just yak nonstop. So I'm going to set our little timer for just probably, let's say, 25 minutes, and then we'll go outside and see the animals. Sound good? And I got to use my hand sandy. So today, the supplies that we need are, we're going to be using a vinyl record. An LP is what's called the long play, so it is this guy, the bigger one, not the little one. And I used to have students that would call this the big CD. It's not the big CD, it is a record. And almost everyone knows what vinyls are now because they're kind of trendy. An oven-safe bowl, a cookie sheet, a pencil, scissors, garden gloves, and oven mitts. Okay, you're going to want to put your oven to 275. Now, you guys, because a lot of the craft stores and secondhand stores are closing, I know that Savers closed today, and here in Utah, that Savers and DI are our secondhand stores, a place that you'd get vinyl records. So we want to give a shout out to Clever Octopus, and I want you to remember this address if you live in Utah, because if you go down there, they will have some free records that are sitting out for you, and if you need more, one person each gets a record. And so I'm so grateful to them for doing this free service for us. So then if you need more, you can just call their phone number and someone will come out and bring it to you curbside. So that this is free, but from now on, because we have a lot of closures and things that where we can't get crafts, Clever Octopus is going to be putting together little craft kits that kind of coincide with what I'm doing, and we just sort of figured this out yesterday. So I'm super excited to kind of be doing a collaboration with them. I love them. And so they'll make a little kit for you, and then you just need to order it online, and then they'll bring it curbside to you. So for the next few weeks. A lot of the stuff I'm going to try to do with things that you may have at home. Okay, some things you won't have at home, and then you're like either, well, I don't want to do that project, or I'll go to Clever Octopus and get it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do before we do our little project is you got to Google the record that you get, because what you don't want to do is, because we're going to be using heat on it, we're going to be melting it in the oven, you don't want to accidentally melt down some super like awesome, this is worth a whole bunch of money on eBay, the Beatles original whatever. That would be rare to do, but you better Google it just in case. Okay, so the second thing you need to do is you need to give yourself some ventilation. I'm going to lean clear across here. This is the most awkward thing I've ever done, but you're going to give yourself some ventilation, because if you turn the oven on probably past 275, I wouldn't suggest doing it. These older records can give kind of fumes out, so you want to ventilate when you do it. If you keep it at around 275 or even lower, it might take longer to melt, but it's safer. Okay, so that is that on the records. So we're making these bowls. If you have taken art from me, hi all my former students, you're going to know that this is one of my go-to projects that I've done for my older 7th and 8th graders forever. I love this project because you can store so much in these. You can store Legos, you can store, art supplies. You can put all your scrunchies and all your hair things in it. The only thing you can't put in it, and this is the question I'm always getting, is a kid will say, oh, I'm going to go eat my cereal out of it. Well, first of all, you can't do that because there's a hole in the bottom. And second of all, even if you put glue there, these are not food safe. Because they're old and it's vinyl and you don't know if it's toxic or not. Now, if you wanted to put like bananas or oranges in here for your kitchen that have a skin that comes off, that's fine. Or wrapped candy, you just can't put regular food in. Okie dokie. So a couple of other things that I have made with a record while I was doing this. I like to make cuffs. I like to make jewelry out of them. I like to make earrings. These are made out of a record. These are a little harder. These are a more advanced project. So if anyone's interested in having me make that separately as an advanced project and post it, then I will. So this ends up on my story for 24 hours. And so you can watch this on my story, okay? So let's get started because we don't want to waste any time because I know you guys have stuff to do there in your homes. So we're gonna take this over. I'm so grateful for Hannah. Hannah is my daughter, and because she is also at home, she's my filming person. Otherwise I couldn't do this because I have to walk around. So Hannah, say hi to Teddy. Hi, Teddy. Oh, he's stretching. Hello, little Ted. Hello. So we have lots of animals here, as you can see. So we're going to take this over. And the thing we're going to do first, if you have garden gloves that are pretty solid, these are probably a little too plasticky, but I'm going to use them because when I did this on my own, they didn't melt, and I'll tell you why. You have to kind of save time. You're going to double it up because you need this. When we go to form the record, there is zero dexterity. Like this could not be more awkward and like a lobster. And so you can't form the bowl. And there's two ways. There's two ways to form the bowl. And so what you're going to do is you're going to quick whip these off, and you won't have time to put other gloves on because it's hot. So these seem to work when they're just out of the oven to help you mold it. I wouldn't do it just with your bare hands. Although believe me, I've done it a ton. I would not suggest doing that. Okay, so the bowl that I have is just this glass bowl. I've used it a bunch, so I know it's oven safe. I wouldn't use anything super special to you, but you're just going to put it on there. Okay, and then you're going to just center this right in the middle. A lot of people say to use like a 6 to 8 inch bowl, but I tried that. You can do that. It'll make a bigger bowl for you. So it depends on how deep you want your bowl. I like my bowls to be fairly deep. And so I just like them to store more. And so what I do is I use a smaller bowl so when it folds down, I also like the lip to kind of flip up kind of in a flowery way. So I like it to barely touch the cookie sheet, okay? So we're gonna just take this over here. And now my oven is on 275 and I ventilated my house, so we should be good to go. I put this on the bottom shelf just because I want more heat, and you're just going to do that. Let's turn the light on so we can kind of watch what's going on in there, but it's going to take a few minutes. And while we are doing our few minutes, I'm going to go over here while we're waiting for it, and I'm going to keep my eye on it. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of other things you can do with the album covers and with the extra pieces and with the record. So come this way. So what you can also see, let me show you what happened to this bowl. I had the heat on too high, so you can see how it bubbles and does that really kind of weird blobby burned look. Too high of heat. This one was perfect in my book. And you can see how I like these to flare out just a little bit. Now, you've got your album covers. And usually they're kind of not exactly lovely, some of them, but they're kind of kitschy and fun. And so you can do a ton with these covers. The first thing, let's say you have an album, you don't listen to the record anymore because record players are huge right now. But let's say you don't listen to that and you just like, I just want to, you know, have that as a bowl. But you love the album cover. This is not something I particularly love, but here's Placido Domingo. And so he's just walking on the beach. So, oh, sorry, actually I need to do it with this one. It can't be a double album. It has to be like this. So one thing you could do is just cut along here, and we're going to come back to this in just a minute. But you could just cut along here, because I like to make, they're really shallow, but I do like to make occasionally purses out of these. They turn out really cool, or satchels. I'll call it a satchel, because then everyone, some people are turned off by the word purse, so we'll call it a satchel. You may want to trim that down. That looks kind of goofy right there. Okay, so then you're just going to take your hot glue gun, and you could also take white glue if you feel safe. You could also take a stapler, and you're going to seal up this side, okay? Now, the other thing you'll probably need to do is take a hole punch and punch right here and here. And it's a shallow, shallow little satchel, but it's enough to put like a notebook in or something like that. A journal if you're outside. It's a super awesome, like eye-catching side purse to wear. I mean, it's huge, but I love it. So you could then tie onto here your straps. Something that I like to use for straps is paracord, because it's really strong. You just tie the paracord through the hole, tie a knot in it, and you have like a really awesome side satchel. So, and if you want to make the handle shorter, you can do that too and just carry it like this. But this is like a little mini book bag. It's awesome. And we're going to go over to the stove now, because I think that is probably done and probably ready to take out. So let's look in the stove. And sorry that my oven is so dirty, but at least we know I use it, right? So let's open it, because my oven door's too gross looking. So you can see how it is. I don't want to touch it with these gloves. I want to touch it with my mitts. So there's two ways you can do it. I'm going to take it out of the oven, and I'm going to just mold it with my hands. I'm going to take these off, and I'm going to mold it with my hands. The second way you can do it is, so you also have to have a hot pad ready. You just have to have this right here. This takes a little prep. So I like to take it out, set it on there, and immediately start squeezing it, because it gets cold and it gets formed really fast. The thing that I used to tell my students that I found out is completely wrong is that it can't be reheated, but it can. So I found that out last night. So you can reheat it if you don't like the shape it is. So sorry to all my students who I never let reheat it. So, but you can pop it back in the oven and it will get hot again and soft again. I told you, I missed the day of science class in school, evidently, years of it, so I never know what I'm doing with science. So I'm going to just do the one where I just squeeze it, and a lot of people flip it and put it inside they'll flip it and put it inside this bowl. So this is already starting to get it gets hard so fast. You gotta act fast, kiddos. You gotta act super fast. Then I'm gonna just manhandle the heck out of this, and I'm gonna just start folding the edges out because I like it to be flared like this. You can do it any way you want. And if you don't, again, if you don't like the shape, just redo it. Pop it back in, redo it. I don't feel any heat from these, and it's not hot enough to melt these garden gloves. Okay, but it's good enough to protect your hands. I'm liking how this is looking a lot. I'm completely happy with this, so I'm gonna go for that. The other way a lot of people do it with a bigger bowl is they take it out of the oven, they flip the bowl over, and they stick this inside and push it down. The only reason I don't like that is it's a really tight bowl. But if you had a really wide bowl that was a little bit, you know, bigger than this, I think it would work out really well. So you get to choose however you do it. So now we're gonna go over here and we're gonna talk a little bit more about records and some other things that you can do with them. And so come this way. So something kind of fun that you can do is, let's talk about, now that, let's talk about this for a second, because you can decorate these, you can paint on them. Let's say you don't want to melt it. You're just like, I just love this record so much, but I want to do something else with it. I want to put it in my room. There's just so many things you could do. One thing you can do is you can just take acrylic paint and you could paint the whole thing. My friend Lynn at Clever Octopus does that with CDs. She taught an awesome class where you can paint little scenes on CDs, old CDs. Fantastic stuff. So you can use paint on here and it works great. Acrylic paint does. So yeah, let's say you say, well, I don't really like this, but I do want to decorate it. Here are some old pieces, but I'm just going to have hand zoom in on this because you can, these right here, like I did here, this is just a white press-on sticker that I got at the craft store. And that looks awesome too. You press it on with a popsicle stick. But Sharpies work amazing. So you can go in and you could just start doing like lots of patterns. I love just geometric patterns. They're kind of my favorite. And so you could just start doing all manner of geometric patterns on it. You could do an entire scene on it. So you can do so much on these if you want to decorate them. I love, again, if you've ever been in my class, you know that I love metallic Sharpies. These are like so awesome. So are these. These are great. So this is like just like a paint marker. You have to shake them up because it has a ball in it, just like a spray paint canister. So these work great too. You can paint right on there with these, and it looks awesome. This is actually a chalk paint marker. So it's kind of a little muted, but some of these markers are just like amazing. So random patterns, random stuff like that you could do all over. The next thing is, let's talk really quick about, another thing you can do with the album cover. So I love collage. If you know me, you know I love collage. So we've got Placido Domingo here. Bless his heart. I'm sorry to destroy you. But the thing I love about this album, so this is when they used to make albums, sometimes they would fold open and they were very elaborate, of course, you know, if you use albums. But I love this background. No offense to Placido, but you could really, you could cut him out and this could be the awesome background for a collage. I used to have students do this where they would cut the people out and put different, I mean, they were crazy stuff. You could cut this out and put somebody else's head on it, you know, I mean, just some really funky stuff that is just super fun as a collage. So we'll set you over here, Guy. But this is like such a great background, I think, for painting on. I mean, if the minute you start adding to this, whether it be through Sharpie, so let's say you wanted to add onto the scene, you could use black Sharpie. You could put yourself into this scene with black Sharpie, or really any kind of Sharpie. Add a beach ball, add a palm tree. You could take acrylic paint and you can paint onto this scene. It's fantastic. There's just like, it is so sturdy, you can't even believe it. It's like double-sided sturdy. So that is one thing you can do. Another thing that I really love doing is making puzzles out of these. So you can also put, you know, you could cut up Placido Domingo and you could stick him on here. Again, you could put like all manner of different things around him. He could be the main part of your story. These are, parents, these are great prompts for reading and for writing stories. So let's say you've got him, and you glue him down here, and then you give that as a prompt for a story. And then I like to do art prompts where you say, okay, well, what happened? He's walking down the beach, now what? I mean, you could cut him out, you could move him around and manipulate him. Every album cover is so awesome because they have so much stuff on them. I love these. So the other thing you can do is you could cut this out, and this is for the younger kids. So now I'm going to try to, I mean, the older kids would like this too, but I think this could appeal to the younger kids, especially if you're teaching cutting skills. This is really helpful for cutting skills. So you can make a puzzle out of this. So you're just going to take your pencil and you'll just start sketching onto here shapes. I would make them, if you're doing them for the younger children, obviously you have to do them kind of bigger. If you're doing them for an older teenager, you know, you can really start doing them kind of complex, like the smaller puzzle shape. But for the littles, I like the bigger pieces. And then, of course, if you're teaching your child how to really utilize scissors and the correct way of cutting, then this is it. So kiddos, this is super easy and super fast. Because then you've started making your puzzle, and then you can just have a homemade puzzle that you can spend a lot of time trying to put back together. Poor Charlie Rich here is just he's getting cut up into a major puzzle. Another idea I had for records is that you could, let's say you didn't want to melt it, or you don't want to do anything with it, and you don't want to paint it, you could just use them. You can hang them up in your bedroom on the wall. You can hang them outside, and they kind of twirl and move, like when you hang CDs outside. They're gorgeous when you hang CDs up. You could use them for stepping stones in your garden. They can lay right down on the grass or right down, and they just look cool. Like you'd have the coolest look if you had an older record that would end up in the landfill. These are all things that we don't want going into the landfill. So that's an idea. So you can see how the puzzle thing works, and then you'll just get to put the puzzle together. So you have like so many different things you can do with one record and one album. So you've got the jewelry. Again, let me know if you want more info on that. You've got your bowls, and so these are your bowls. You've got your satchel, your side satchel that you can make out of the album. and your collage, you've got your puzzle, you've got a ton of stuff. So guys, remember, whenever you have something and you find something, the most important thing you're just going to say is, what can I make with this? How can I keep this out of the landfill? What can I do with it? So if you decide to do a melted record craft, I want you to just make sure you tag me in it. And any of these things that you do, if your siblings help you or your parents help you, the thing is, this one's a little trickier because you have a hot oven, and so we might need parent help with this or older sibling help with this. Okie doke. So I think what I'm going to do now is I am going to, depending on our time, you know what? I think I'm going to do a quick little science thing really fast that I have done before in some of my classes. Oh, Ted. And I love doing this. You can do it with a big plate or little one. I'm going to do it on a little one today. And so I'm going to move this out of the way. This is, again, if you've probably already done this, but this is a fun, super fun color demo of what happens with colors. I love this. After I did this, I set my camera up here on time lapse, and to record this on time lapse is a blast because it just looks cool. So if you're teaching your littles any video skills, or you've got siblings that are teaching them video making skills, this whole thing works great on time lapse. Now, if you want to make a pattern out of this, you can. Just for time's sake, I'm not gonna make a pattern out of it, but I do want to make it so that none of my colors are next, none of the same color is next to each other. I just kind of want to mix my colors up a little. It looks cooler if you do that. Now, I had done this before. I used to only do this with milk because for some reason the internet told me that I had to use milk. And you cannot believe everything you read, because now I found out that water works just as well. And we certainly don't want to waste milk right now. Holy cow. Milk is a hot commodity. So let's not waste that. Let's use water, okay? So I want them all to be touching. You get one yellow dude in there. Scoochy, let me in. Scooch over. Okay. So I'm going to try to find something better to pour this in. And I think I'm going to use something like this that doesn't drip as much, okay? So, you just pour it in the middle, and you just pour it so it hits the sides of that, okay? So, I don't know if you can see it. Now this is going to take a minute, but what you're going to see happening is all the colors, and many of you have already probably done this before, you're going to see all the colors start going together. So what we're going to do is, while we're waiting, can you see it starting already? While we're waiting for this little experiment, this little art experiment, we'll go out and we'll feed the animals, and when we come back in, this should have moved all the way to the center. So I'm going to take the camera from Han. Thanks, Han. And we are going to go out and feed the animals. And today I think I'm just going to give them carrots and some spinach. I always kind of lose you guys when I'm out at close to the fence, so I'm not going to go inside just yet. Okay. All my little birdies are building nests up in the eaves right now because spring's coming and I'm loving it. Okay, so this is our treats today. Let's see how crazy Winston the goatee is. The minute the boys see me, they're gonna come running. Again, they're really, really grubby looking because they've been kind of rolling out in the dirt. Treat! Harrison! Diego! Dorothy! Come on, treat! Oh, the chickens. The chickens are... Oh no, I forgot a treat for the chickens. Oh, I'm so sad. I forgot a treat for the chickens. I'm sorry, guys. Come on, guys. Treat. They're acting so suspicious. Oh, here they come. Running, running, running. Hello, precious animals. Hello, Rose. Hi, Harrison. Hi, Patch. Hello, sweet Patch. Kisses. Mwah. Kisses. Mwah. Would you like a carrot? But there's not going to be any spitting or biting each other, okay? No spitting or biting. Hello, Diego. Hi, Diego. Okay, Harrison, last time you were kind of piggy about this. Guys. What's on your head? Here. No, Harrison. Oh, spitting. Whoa! Oh, spit fight. Here, Patchy. Well, now you're just getting kind of mean. Okay. Hello, goaties. Where's the goaties? Where's my goaties? Somehow my goaties are not around. They must be sitting down in the shed. Hey. You know, if you're going to spit, I don't know if I'm going to do this with you right now today. Come here, Diego. Here, Patchy. Quick. Ah, dang, Harrison. Diego. Oh, Harrison. Okay, got Rose out. Sweet Dorothy. So here's the deal, Harrison. You're just being too wild. Dorothy. There, Rose is a good girl. Thelma and Louise coming. Thelma and Louise coming. No. All right, let's get someone else. Okay, Harrison is just out of control. Hello, sweetheart. There's a carrot for you. Hey, Miss Dorothy. Oh, Thelma and Louise, maybe they want some. Nobody better bite me. Sorry about the pause. Okay, you've had too many carrots, my friend. Here, Patchy. Dorothy, you want a carrot? Okay. Rose. Harrison. Really feisty today. Feisty. You're just kind of eating everybody's snacks. Sweet Pat is being so patient. There you go, Patchy. Alright, I'll put it on my little tray. So I have this little tray out here. It's like an old drive-in tray. Put some stuff on it. Oh, you're being picky now. You're too much for me. Guy, you're just too much for me. Oh my goodness. I'll throw this on the ground for you, sweet Diego. All I can see is your squishy face right here. Hello, Rose. Rose is an Icelandic sheep and she's a sweetheart. Chickens, I'm so sorry. I don't know. Quick, Patchy, quick. Quick before he comes. Good boy. No, look how gentle he is. Dorothy, do you want some carrots? Diego. You've had enough, my friend. You've had enough, my friend. You've had enough. There's too much Harrison today. Sweet Dorothy. Hey, Harrison, don't bite me. Ah, he got it. Darn you, Harrison. Look how sweet Diego's doing over here. Look at that sweetheart with his chunky little legs. Okay, then I'll pet ya. If I pet you, you'll go away. Let's pet ya. Let's pet ya. Let's pet ya. You hate being pet. Maybe that will help you go away so the other boys can have some. He's like, I'll get pet as long as I can. Hey, Blanchy. Little Miss Blanche. Oh, spit fight. No. They don't spit at people. They spit at each other when they want treats. Patch. Diego. Look at those little chickens running after it. You know, they're funny. They don't like to eat a lot of stuff off the ground. They're really picky. I have no idea why. You've had enough. No. Patchy. Quick, Patch. Patch, quick. Okay, Diego. Dorothy. Harrison. So Harrison had a choking incident last year where we almost lost him, and you can kind of see why. He likes to scarf his food down so intensely. Sweet Harrison. Let's look at your fleece then. If you're going to stand by me, let's see how deep your fleece is. Let's see how deep your fleece is. Okay, pretty deep. Pretty deep. You're going to get sheared in April. Look at all that dirty stuff. Now this stuff that's on his back, it's just, when it dries, it just dusts off. We don't want to push that down into his fleece and ruin a gorgeous fleece. Huh, Dorothy? Huh, my sweetheart? That's the best girl in the world right there. She is the sweetest, most perfect Icelandic sheep in the world. She doesn't have horns. She's the only one that's polled. That means she doesn't have horns. And she's precious as a baby. Would you like another carrot? Let's split it in half because I don't want you to choke either. Who would have thought these little animals could choke? I would never have thought that. Okay, guys, I'm out of treats. I'm going to give Dorothy this. Boy, it's like survival of the fittest over here. Oh, Dorothy's little teepers. Little teepers. Okay, get that. All right. Okay, Harrison. I'm sorry, Dorothy. I love you so. I love you too, Harrison. You're just kind of bossy. Okay. Should we go back in the house? I'm going to go back in and we're going to check on our little Skittles project. Okay, bye, guys. I love you. I love you. Any kisses? Okay. We're going to go back in and check on this little Skittles project I was doing. And you've probably all done this before. But that's okay. Now's the time to do cool little projects. Hi, Teddy. Hi, Teddy. There he goes. Look at that tail. Okay. Hello, Bisky. There's Biscuit. Okay. So you can see it's already even started swirling. So we caught it a little too late, but it should all swirl down in sections. So that's a super fun project to do for color. Dump the water out, let the Skittles sit for a minute, and you can still eat them. I know that sounds gross. I just don't like to waste anything. Okay, you guys, thank you. Thanks for coming, and try your records and see what you think. See how you like doing your melted records with the help of your parents or your siblings. And we will see you on Monday, okay? Bye.